when you're long term, it's just little things like that. You can see the hash rate, just looking better and better. I think it was 305. Now the all time high is probably better. You can see it's really turned on since about 250, and since I've been covering it in October, where it was 50 petahashes, we're 6 times up there. I could see it hitting 1,000 petahashes this cycle. We'll just have to wait and see. Getting close to 348,000 addresses. No new, one less whale in the last week, but outside of that, you can see the active addresses in the top 37, 107 million. Kaspa on the number one address added, the gate.io. So nothing huge there. I know some people think that number 10 could be Binance. You'll have to wait and see on that. Rust migration is actually pulled back, and that's fluctuating with the Rust migration until it's completely done. You can see it's about 50-50 now. So depending on if this miner or this pool, makes a change or something goes down or they reset or some new, some miners go offline and some new miners come online. So, but eventually that'll be 100%. And that's where the fun will really begin with the testnet 11, since they're doing 10 blocks per second it's on Rust. So you'll need that. And a lot of Casplex stuff is Rust. So today, just talking about, someone had an article here on is a beast right here. They're Greed, Bitcoin, and Kaspa. This text is written in Swedish and translated with ChatGPT in an attempt to explain humanity's greed. So I could put a link to this at the end of the video. It's kind of interesting, just talking about how humans are trying to gather. Like at this here, it's talking about the sun's core. The sun radiates energy. There's grass. The rabbits eat grass. The number of rabbits grow. Then there's too many rabbits, and then foxes come and eat the rabbits, and there's too many foxes. About how people are trying to acquire as much economic energy as possible. He's talking about how Bitcoin, with the orphan blocks, every 100 blocks is basically wasting energy. How Kaspa is using those orphan blocks to enhance the hash rate security. And so another thing I think right now is when you look at the U.S. national debt, it was interesting just having some, family and friends over. And I think that technology, artificial intelligence, and the national debt and the inflation, it will change humanity more than any of the policies of one particular president. If you look, in my opinion, technology is changing life way more than one administration or the other. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my thesis, is that you look at how much the internet and cell phones and things like that has changed technology, artificial intelligence moving forward, quantum computing, digital technologies, digital assets. I think that's where people are really looking. Trump is really becoming pro crypto, and they label it Bitcoin, but like when I was down at the gala at Mar-a-Lago, he's talking about multiple. He's not really just pinning it on Bitcoin. He's leaving it open to all other cryptocurrencies. His NFTs are on Polygon, and he sees that there's people paying, there's money to be made, so, and we don't want the central bank digital currencies. In the end, this all ties back to Kaspa, because some people right now just aren't paying attention to it. In the last 3 or 4 years, I've started to try to pay attention to economics more. And you see that the time machine here is projecting in 2028. And this is just the United States. Maybe you guys live in Australia, UK, India. Maybe you're living somewhere else. But you can see that they're projecting it's going to be almost $47 trillion at the next election. National debt, they're projecting $2.8 trillion just on the interest. And so people are going to be fleeing into digital assets. And you can see that Kaspa, with no big exchange listings, is already kind of a top 30, top 40 project. And there's still lots of development with the Rust rewrite being complete. And so, I mean, it's amazing how far it's went without some of those major catalysts. Now you can look at Ton. Ton doesn't have any Coinbase or Binance, and Ton's up into the top 10. So it shows what's possible. Also, right here, Coin Bureau is talking about, why is everything so expensive? Here are the facts. He's saying why it'll get worse. I haven't had a chance to watch the entire video yet, but I think when you're getting into these digital assets in Caspa, they have different technology, different communities. I think when you look, you can see that a lot of people, like if I make a non-Caspa video, it doesn't get as many views. And most people that I've seen that make Caspa content on YouTube, they don't get views much on other videos. So that shows how strong the community is, which is a big factor. And really how many people are in it. I mean, I think I have two addresses, maybe three, I guess three addresses. So there might only really be about 100,000 people that are really into Casper right now. Maybe it's more. I don't know. Maybe it's 200,000. Maybe the average person has 1.5 wallets. I don't know. A lot of people have multiple wallets. I had a the browser wallet, two different Tangent wallets. So I don't know. It's exciting times, if you ask me. And you can see that crypto is a presidential issue now, and you can see that why the SEC did that 180 on Ethereum. I don't know. And in the end, it all ties back to Caspa with its different technology. I don't know the future exactly. I'm bullish on it, but I think that what you're going to see is that which cryptocurrency is going to exactly win out is tough to predict, and people are going to be right. But the one thing is this national debt, and the world's still built around the dollar. Everything's getting more expensive. So if you look at another little story I want to tell real quick is just some money in 2005. So whoops, here we go. $15. The inflation calculator. So it's saying that $15 is worth like $24 today. I think it's more like $27. But I had a friend that worked at a mill in Washington State, and he made $15 in 2005. Those same guys are just making $19 an hour, and the job has stayed the same. So you can see that. So one way to look at it is, in fast food's horrible, but how much? So back then, the guy in 2005 was working at the mill. The job's the exact same now. It's not easier. And how much fast food could the guy get? He could probably get 3 meals for 3 people and feed 3 people with 1 hour's worth of work back in 2005. And now he's making $19 an hour, and you can't feed 3 people. I don't think so. I mean, seems like it's like 12 or $15. I don't know. I don't know, go to fast food much, but my friend does sometimes. So you can, so the same guy working 1 hour, so you can't even compare it into dollars. But when the guy worked back in 2005, he could feed more people for 1 hour's worth of work, and now with 1 hour's worth of work, he can feed less people, whether it's 2 people or 1.5. I don't know. You'd have to really crunch the numbers, but whatever. And if you look at now, what um, it's like now they're making $19. So uh, that's like $11 back then. So if you go $11 back then, that's like $18. So they're making like $12. So that person's actually, on paper, they went from making $15 to $19, but they're buying less stuff, so they're actually losing money, and that's why the inflation is the getting on a tangent here about inflation. But that's why, when you got Chris Hutchinson here, I think he's rocked the Caspa. They just posted a video on X here 5 hours ago about Caspa meetup in the UK. You're seeing a lot of more of these meetups, and a lot of people are flowing into digital assets, and there's not going to probably just be one winner in the next 10 years. Is this going to just have Bitcoin and Caspa and Ethereum, and all these other ones going to be zero? And as stupid as it is, these meme coins like Dogecoin and Shiba Inu have some staying power. And so I think that in the end of the day, that all this ties back to Caspa in my mind, because people are going to be going into digital assets that they can, one, have control over. There's no bank. If they have to leave their country for whatever reason, they're going to be able to take their digital assets with them. Remember their seed phrase. And so Bitcoin, Ethereum, like Dogecoin, some of these Solana, these ones are the ones that really suck people in. But then once people are in the crypto world, they might start looking for something else. And maybe they're not even putting their whole portfolio in there, but then they start looking down and like, okay, like Leo, Litecoin, You got Pepe, H bar render. So then, bam, okay, Caspa. They can do some research on it, and if they're wanting to stick to a proof of work, it's right there for a lot of people. And with the technology changes coming and some possible better listings, then it's the sky's the limit. And at the end of the day, no matter what, the purchasing power of the dollar and pretty much most national currencies is going to decrease. So that's a big incentive for people to find somewhere else to stick your money. And if you're somewhere in Nigeria or India and you only have $1,000, you can't necessarily just plunk it into real estate. And so you might be looking to put it into Bitcoin, Caspa, something like that. So that's all I got for today. It's exciting. And you can see that it's going to be, crypto's on the docket is a political issue. And if both sides and all of them are getting behind it, and that could be big for this bull run. And I think people in general just figuring out if they have some extra money, they're going to want to park it to somewhere. And you can see with Caspa has got this mission schedule is very aggressive. So there's like 82%. So there's not going to be much inflation left. So um, bullish times, my friends. So thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your weekend and have a good day.